Good afternoon, friends. Um, I'm just going to do a short talk because today is a very significant day in our yearly calendar. It's the 31st of October, and that is All Souls Day. That is the one day in the year when the veil between the two worlds or the two dimensions are is at its thinnest. So, um, I know some people call it Halloween and they make such a big thing about ghosts and ghoulies and whatever. Um, but it literally is all souls, as in all souls on this side and all souls on the other side, where that connection. It is the one day when often people can actually physically see spirits or ghosts, as they call them. There's the sun coming up. Namaste, my friends across the veil. Ah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for connecting always, but in this particularly special day, because it's particularly special in that it's not just those who are enlightened who get the opportunity to make a very powerful connection with the invisible realm, if you like. So it's a meeting of the visible and the invisible realms, the 31st of October. So for those who may have passed over into the next life without being fully enlightened or fully aware, this is their opportunity to connect with us. And for the souls on this plane who are still not necessarily enlightened or in awareness, but their opportunity to connect with our loved ones. It is the most powerful day of the year to be able to make that connection. Um, for the ones on the other side will be streaming their love through at this time very powerfully. They mightn't always have the opportunity to project their love through powerfully, because until you become into full awareness or you come fully into your heart, it's not a constant stream. When you are fully in your heart and in full awareness, it is a constant stream. You're sending love there and you're receiving love from there. It's a constant stream of connection with the life force. But this is the one day of the year when the energy fields of both realms are on a parallel, or on a flow where it's much more effortless to make communication or to make connection or to make contact. Now, when I was growing up, this was quite scary. I mean, I wasn't really aware of spirits in that sense, other than the stories that we were told by our families. Um, my mother would have often told stories about ghosts and stuff, where there was lots more awareness of the spirit phenomena, because electricity wasn't so constantly used at that stage. You know, we were in the age before electricity, so these things were seen. I love you, my friend. I love you. I love you so much. and thank you for your love always. Anyhow, when I was a teenager, at the ripe old age of 16, this was in 1974, um, I left my home on a Sunday night to walk the mile and a half or 2 miles from my home down to the main road to hitchhike to a dance hall 10 miles away. And while I was standing at the end of that road waiting for traffic to come along, there was a lull in the traffic. Traffic just seemed to stop coming. And I remember singing along to a Bay City Roller song. Does anybody remember the Bay City Rollers? I was singing Shine-a-Lang anyway to myself to pass the time. It was a very still night. It was a very beautiful night. It was a very clear night. And then out of nowhere I heard a gate start to bang. Like as if it wasn't closed, just the banging of a gate. And this was going on for a little while. And I took a look in that direction because I hadn't had any awareness of any gate banging. I mean, the night was very still and beautiful. So when I looked round, I got the shock of my life. For there, every time the gate banged, and this gate was halfway between two derelict houses, and every time the gate banged, two souls or two spirits would come through. And they were coming 2 by 2 down the centre of this field. Every time the gate banged, another two. When I say spirits, souls, they were like the vague outline of a human form, but with no features, just white, and gliding down the field because there was absolutely no sound whatsoever. But I remember being absolutely petrified and rooted to the spot. The hair was just standing on my head. You could just feel it creeping up. Obviously, it wasn't literally standing on end, but you know that feeling when fear strikes and you feel your skin's crawling. I couldn't move. I was just rooted to the spot. Um, I tried checking in to look towards the local town to see is there a light shining out from there, even though I knew fine well it wasn't that. And of course it wasn't. Um, I was thinking, is it sheep? Could it be sheep in the field? No, sheep don't go 2 by 2 down the centre of a field in a line. So anyway, I'm rooted to the spot in fear, observing this, and I remember my mother always said to us that ghosts can't cross water. So I thought, oh, here we go. At the end of this field, there's a river. So sure enough, at the end of the field, they turned 2 by 2, as you say, and were coming towards me. So it's like they were streaming down the centre of the field, and when they got to the end of the field, in an L shape, they were coming towards me. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed to God. And then eventually my feet were released and I was able to run. And I ran as hard as my little legs could carry me. Which wasn't probably not very fast because I was in such fear. I'm sure my nervous system wasn't in a great state. So I went in the opposite direction of where my home was, until I came to the next road. And at the end of that road, there was a shop and a pub. and stuff, although the shop was obviously closed, but at least there was a light there. So I stood there, and then the traffic started to flow again, and I hitchhiked and got a lift. And obviously, when I passed the field, there was nothing whatsoever in it. But that would have been about midnight, because when I left my home, it was well after 11 o'clock at night, and it was probably about midnight when this occurred. And that was my only time of actually physically seeing ghosts or spirit or souls. Um, Now, of course, I wouldn't be scared at all, but um, it allowed me the awareness that that was, although I didn't know it at the time, the thinning of the veil where you can actually see the spirit world. Um, the visible and the invisible are united. You know, it's a greatest opportunity to connect with our loved ones. And certainly for those who have passed, maybe this year, last year, if you wish to connect with your loved ones at this time, this is the very best opportunity and day to do this. Um, and simply whether you do it in meditation in a group where you call them in or you visualize them. I would suggest whether you're in a group or whether you're just on your own to just think very powerfully. Visualize, if you can, what your loved ones looked like when they were here. Remember what their voice sounded like, and remember how their presence felt. And if you take a few minutes to sit with that in your loving heart as you're thinking of them, they will be thinking of you at exactly the same time. So while you're projecting your love to the universe, they're projecting their love straight back to you. So if there's any healing to be done, because you have to understand it's not just a healing on this side. For those who hadn't completed their understanding of what life is about, or the journey of the soul, then we can help their healing process while they're on the other side as well. So it's a two-way show, you know, healing and understanding and remembrance. We're not on our own. We're never on our own. It is only our incorrect thinking, for anyone who feels very lonely and on your own. It's actually wrong thinking that allows that to be the case, because they're your loved ones and the universal life force and souls and soul groups and angels and all sorts of spirit entities of the benevolent kind are waiting to assist us. We just need to remember, and we just need to ask always. So today being this incredibly special day when the veil is at its absolute thinnest, it is a phenomenal opportunity to connect. Remember this. Remember, they are very close to you at this time. This is the opportunity for them to come the closest to you, to us, where there's no blockages in the way. So be totally open to this. Have your heart fully open and allow that love to flow inwards and outwards. I will leave it at that. I just wanted to mark the day with a short talk. So have the most wonderful All Souls Day. some call it, is it Samhain? I don't know how to pronounce it. For others, Halloween. But it is literally, in the church calendar actually, All Souls Day. Now just think about that, all souls. That's here and there, in the visible and in the invisible. The connecting of souls across the veil. So I wish each and every one of you a most wonderful day, a most wonderful evening, and I hope you have the most phenomenal connection with your loved ones. Thank you. Namaste. Now, there's just that little thing about, that little arrow again, a little problem I have constantly. I found it actually. Thank you for listening and have the best. The best is yet to come actually.